way here today. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Cynthia Tomaine with Interactive Brokers, and thank you for joining today's webinar being brought to us by Capitalise. We'll be discussing how automated trading can help improve your portfolio. I'm very pleased to have with us this afternoon Tom Rozenvasser with Capitalise, who runs the Capitalise webinar program. So please join me in welcoming Tom to today's event. Tom, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter. So if you would share your slides, we'll get underway here this afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Thank you, Cynthia. And hello, everyone. Happy to have you with us. As Cynthia mentioned, this webinar is about how automated trading can help improve your portfolio. Now, automated trading is something that some people know more and some people know less, but it's definitely something that is gaining more and more traction, and it's something that could be quite beneficial for many of you. As Cynthia mentioned, this webinar is brought to you by Capitalise. Capitalise is the company that I work for, and our aim is for you to be able to trade according to your plans and automate your trading in a very simple way. So before we get started, a few words about myself. I don't want to talk about myself too much, but as Cynthia mentioned, I am in charge of the webinars program here in Capitalise. And I do encourage you to ask questions, and feel free to ask questions. I'll try to answer most of them during the webinar. And also at the end of the webinar, we will have a part of it that is dedicated to your questions. And along with me here is Shahal, our CEO, who can help as well. Before we actually do start, I would like you to read this disclosure. Take a moment to yourself and read this. Enjoy the silence. I'm not going to be silent for too long. Okay, so let's get started. Before we dive into the webinar itself, I do have a question to you. I'm doing this presentation from Tel Aviv, and I'd like to hear some of you, where are you from? And learn more about our attendees. Okay, so we have Ravi from India and Gaurav from New York, East and West. And then we have Spain, Venezuela, Dan from Florida, Hendry from Singapore. Wow, okay. A lot of people from the U.S. And we have other people from Tel Aviv as well. Robert from Dallas, Martin, who's based in Dubai, Jose from Geneva. Okay, that's awesome. So we have a very international and colorful webinar. A lot of traders here today. And that brings me to the first thing that I want to talk to you about. And, you know, we're all traders here. And I'd like to hear from you. What do you think that makes a trader? What in your mind makes for a good trader? Hi, Werner from Germany. Anyone? Don't be shy. Feel free to share your thoughts. Okay, so I hear that Juan says intuition, and JC says discipline, and Saed says experience. Okay, control of emotion, discipline. Really good stuff, because we're going to talk about most of it today. I can tell you that for me, it's about three major things that make a trader. One is having a plan. The second thing is executing according to the plan and pulling the trigger. And the third thing is that we need to be disciplined and stick to the plan. So some of you mentioned these things, and I want to really go by them. We need to trade according to a plan. We need to execute, and we need to stick to our execution and our plan. Now, the saying goes that plan your trade and trade your plan. You need to think of your setup and the strategy that's going to get you in the trade before you dive in, and you need to think of your exits in the same way. And if we don't, it's usually very hard to think clearly when we're emotionally invested in it. So everyone has their own game plan and their own trading style, and some of us, have a plan that is more technical. Some of us go with more fundamentals. For each his own, but whatever the risk-reward ratio might be, as long as statistically our overall winnings are on the plus side, we should be fine. Now, it sounds simple, right? It's not that simple. And some of you mentioned it, some of the pitfalls that we might find ourselves in. And those pitfalls are basically the fact that we're human, and there's not a lot that we can do to fight it, but our own human conditions allow us to really stumble on those pitfalls from now and again. It could be greed, where we find ourselves in a trade that's going our way, and we just find it simply hard enough to close it as our plan suggested, and we want to keep it open because we want to earn more. And the bottom line is that we can see it going south, going against us. And we might lose what we have won previously. The second thing is, on the flip side, it could be fear that's preventing us from stopping our losses and accepting them. Sometimes people should be able to accept losses if they are to gain wins and earnings. And sometimes we need to accept them, and we're ending. And if we're not accepting them, we might end up losing much more than we expected. Third thing could be boredom. It propels us to do things that we didn't initially want to do. And sometimes we get into a trade just because it's been a while, and we're close enough to our specific setup, but it's not exactly what we needed or what was good for us. And on top of all these things, there are human limitations, not just, our nature, but also our necessities, such as sleeping and doing other things that we need in our lives. So time is a very precious asset, and that's something that can get in our way as well. But sometimes these things change. Now, how trading has changed in the past few years? Here's an interesting number. In the last 20 years, there has been a great shift in the financial trading industry. And it's believed that today, more than 80% of global trading volume is being traded using machines, and algorithms that run massive trading orders on a magnitude that just keeps on growing. Now, there's a slight discrepancy here because there's a huge distortion, because in the market there are only about 2% of the players that are actually utilizing those machines. So we're talking about 2% of the players in the market that are responsible for more than 80% of the global trading volumes. So what is it? What is it? Automated trading, and why do they use it? Okay, algo trading. Let's talk about that. In general terms, algorithmic trading means the use of a predefined set of rules written into computer code to automate the process of buying or selling. So according to this general definition, the term of algorithmic trading could apply to any computer-generated market operation. At times, this term refers to order execution, irrespective of the origin of the actual underlying trading decision, and if it's computer-generated or not. But at other times, The term can refer to the trading process where the computer entirely replaces the human trader, taking both the trading decision and managing the execution. So there's the scenario of trading and there's the execution of trading. These are two different things that we need to understand. And by the way, this could also be called automated trading or systematic trading. But execution orders are used primarily to achieve best possible execution price or minimize the market impact of sometimes very large orders. We want to disguise large orders by trickling volume into market in small clips under optimal circumstances. You probably know this as VWAP, volume-weighted average prices. Interactive brokers, by the way, do have many execution orders that are available for you, and you can definitely go ahead to the website and check it out and see the various assets and execution orders that are available for you through interactive brokers. But we are here to discuss how you can automate your trading, both from the scenario standpoint and the execution of it as well. So how trading has changed in the past few years. Now, algo trading can now recognize a wide variety of events, including fundamental indicators, macro and microeconomic events. Trading is changed by the fact that these days we have more information than we ever had before. We're swamped with data, and the kind of data it was once very hard to come by is now flooding us all over the network. As I said, fundamental data, technical data, social sentiments, technical indicators, even weather, okay? And I'm gonna show you examples right now of each and every one of these examples. Okay, so if we take, for example, technical indicators. This, by the way, from TradingView, this chart from TradingView shows the S&P index, the 100-day 100 weeks moving average, basically from 1997 up to now. And we can see that there's a clear technical indication in this period is the breaking down of long-term weekly moving average. In this case, of 100-day week moving average, if we were to sit on the fence and not trade every time the weekly bar is traded below the 100 moving average, we could have missed most of the dot-com falls, the subprime crisis, etc. This is just a very normal example of the 100-week moving average and how we could have, gotten to very good points and knowing when to get out and avoid some of those pitfalls. An example for a macroeconomic event. And this is actually something that is quite recent. On January 31st, just when the markets opened, the U.S. personal income for the month of December was released, and it indicated a growth of just 0.2% from last month. And the market expectations was at 0.4. Now, as we can see, the day opened with a negative gap and signaled a down movement. And that's actually what happened. So this is an example of a macroeconomic event, fundamental data that we received. Here's another example of the social impact that we see. Elon Musk tweeted on August of 2018, considering taking Tesla private at 420, funding secured. Now, I know that the prices have changed, and Tesla is quite a volatile stock, but we can see in our next slide what this tweet actually caused. So this is something that we didn't see before, and now we can see it. The rise of social networks and how they impact finance as well. We're talking about, Tesla going up 11% in just one trading session. So, unlike before, today trading is available 24/7 around the world. And we can take the cryptocurrencies markets as an example. They do trade for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's not a surprise that automation in trading is a trend that just keeps on growing. And the reason is simple. When using machines, you're limitless. You can trade around the clock, on multiple markets, and at great speed. And the advantages are concrete. For example, let's talk about how you can manage risk more effectively. An automated trading system is a valuable tool when it comes to managing risk. There are so many global events that once they occur, they can impact our portfolio. Not all of them we can think of in advance, but for those that we can set the rules to protect our portfolios in advance. Let's consider the second example that I gave you today. When the U.S. personal income report came in, the results. What if we could ask a robot to look for the next time the U.S. personal income report updates, and if at that time my portfolio suffers more than 1% losses, simply close all open positions. So that's one example. Another example is obviously time, and time is our most valuable asset. If we look at our daily routines, then they pretty much look the same. We sit in front of our trading desk, and we're waiting for events to happen and react to them by placing various trading orders. But this is a time-wasting process, and we all know that. Not to mention the fact that we can't be available 24/7. If we can allow a machine to take over these mundane tasks, I'm sure we'll all be happy, and we can get most of our lives back. We can actually use this free time to learn new trading techniques and implement them in algorithmic or automated trading for future reference. We also have what we talked about, greed and fear and the whole human bias thing. With automation, we can disable our human emotions and bias. We can plan our trading ahead of time, and the machine will take care of it all. So we don't have to be greedy, and we don't have to generate trading out of boredom. And that's where Capitalise comes in. Capitalise is a trading platform which is available to trade with through your IB terminal. And I'm going to show you how you can hook up through your TWS in just a few minutes. But I do want you to know that when creating Capitalise, the goal was clear. We wanted to provide any trader with a simple solution for automating his trading. We want to turn things that are simple or complex, short-term or long-term, whatever your needs are, we can take care of them for you, and we can have you planning your trading and actually letting the machine execute not just your order, but your entire trading scenario. And that's the big difference here between Capitalise and some of the things that are available out there. So let's see how actually we can hook up through the TWS. I'm going to switch to my TWS, okay, our trader workstation. I'm in the Mosaic view, and we do it very simply by clicking on New Window. And under Analyst Research, you can see that you have subscribed or available. Now, for me, it's under subscribed because I already am, but for you, you're going to find it under available. So I'm going to click here on Capitalise, and Capitalise now opens up. And this is our interface. All right. And let's talk about the trading scenarios that we can write. All right, let's give ourselves an actual trading scenario and see how it goes. Let's say that I have an open position with Apple shares, and I'm a little afraid that some of the announcements that are coming up today might affect my open position, and I want to be prepared. So there's an interest rate decision, and I want to be prepared ahead of it. Let's say that, and just notice how I'm writing, as I'm typing, you can see that the system is very intuitive, and it also catches up with me. All right, let's see how it goes. Let's say that if the interest rate, here we go, interest rate US, I can actually look for it here and find it. There you go. Results are, let's say, above the forecast. And let's say that the S&P crosses below, let's say, the 100-day moving average. In this case, I would like to sell, and I have the options here right in front of me, 100 Apple shares. Okay? So I just wrote down exactly what I wanted to happen, and I'm going to click on Next here. I'm going to skip the exit strategy. We're going to talk about it later. I'm going to click on Simulation because this is for the sake of the webinar. And I'm going to click on Next. And I'm running the simulation. And as I run the simulation, I know that it's been hooked up to my IB terminal. And whenever these conditions apply, my position closes with the 100 shares that I have open. So that was a very simple example of how I can react to an open position that I currently have. But what happens if you want to create a new strategy with an entry and an exit all on your own? Okay, let's see how that goes. So, these days our market is very, very volatile. Let's take a look into that volatility. Let's say that if the VIX trades above 50 points, and Facebook the 20-day moving average of Facebook crosses, let's say, above the 100-day moving average, let me fix that 1 second. 100-day moving average. Then I'd like to buy one moment. Then buy 100 shares of Facebook. Now I'm going to click on Next. And here I want to take care of my exit strategy as well. So here I'd like to close the position. Close position. If the Facebook 30-day moving average Facebook 30-day moving average crosses below the 100-day moving average. Or we can have another scenario, or let's say that we want to use a trailing stop loss, or at trailing stop loss of, let's say, 3%. And now we have an exit strategy as well. We also have the option to do this in loop and just once, meaning that every time these conditions apply to the strategy that it just created, and I'm talking about both the entry and the exit, that could run in loop, or it could just run once. Okay, so I'm going to click on next. These are the entry conditions, these are the exit conditions, and I'm running the simulation. And over here, I can see that we have our dashboard and the widgets showing us our conditions and how when these conditions are met, the order is executed. So these are, the language is easy. The possibilities are endless. And another thing that I want to show you before I'm going to go ahead and get some of your questions, and I see that there are some of them out there, okay? I want to show you some of the examples that we have. Right now you can see it under stocks and foreign exchange. Notice that you can filter these strategies that have been used according to different parameters. You have, for example, the recently triggered, return, win ratio, hits count, how many times people actually use these strategies, some of our featured strategies, and you can really pick those that you want. And I'm not going to give you investment advice because this is not our part, but you can use these templates. And once you click on them, you will have to fill in some of the amounts and the stocks that you want to actually use. So the template is ready for you. You just have to type in very, very certain details, and it's ready for you, and it's good to go. Some of them include exit strategies as well. And that's something that you want to use for your own benefit as well. Now let's see if we have a few questions from you. All right. And I'd like to also introduce Shachar, and who's with us. Shachar, our CEO, the man with a plan. Actually, the man that his plan is for you to have plans. And he'll be available to talk. Cynthia, you'll probably give him the option to talk. Let's see some of the questions that we have here. Can you talk, Shachar? We can hear you. Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Awesome.
Okay, very good.
So thanks everyone for joining us. I'm Shachar, the CEO, and co-founder of Capitalise. So once again, thanks for joining us. And maybe I'll take some of the questions, Tom, if you can, read them to me.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's see our first question. Perry asks, is this stocks only? Does it apply to futures or options on stocks?
Good question. So the platform itself the technology itself is agnostic to the kind of assets. We do, however, define and connect the different asset types that we want to make available for the users. Currently, it is available to trade equities and FX. And in the near future, we'll add options and futures, but they're not available at this moment.
Okay, Ravi is asking, is this available for intraday trade as well?
Oh, for sure. So within the platform, you can define the set of rules to get in and out of trades and position and to manage your portfolio. And the time frame is not really, it doesn't really matter. You can trade intraday, you can trade on assets for a minute or 2 minutes or 1 hour, or you can take that and manage your portfolio for long periods of time. So the answer is yes, it's available for intraday as well.
All right. So Venkat, I'm sure that we also answered your question. Is the automated trades can be used for options trading as well? Are all of Randy is asking, are all of Interactive Brokers indicators available on the program?
Not all of the indicators available. Actually, will encourage you to go in and sift through the available indicators and keywords guides that we have within the platform. We have very detailed instructions of the different capabilities of the platform, and the availabilities of different keywords and indicators. Not all of them are available, but we are currently and always working on adding more and more indicators, but not just indicators, as we go along and according to what our users are actually wanting and asking us. So I do invite you to give us a shout out, tell us what else do you want us to support, and that's our job, to constantly add in more and more available tools for our traders. And you can
actually
do that.
Shahar, excuse me. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that as you can see on my screen, there's a chat button right here. I'm circling it with my cursor, and you can click on it and open a chat and actually ask us any question and give us inputs to anything that you'd like. We would very much appreciate it because we want to provide you with everything that you want and need. Another question, Guarav is asking, is it available for U.S. index futures like the S&P 500 or E-mini futures? So the answer is yes. And Eugene is asking if this works on MetaTrader 4. So
MetaTrader 4, I don't know if IB has MetaTrader 4 or not. Currently, we are connected to IB, and IB fixed protocol to trade within your accounts. Capitalise as a company is also connected to other brokers. Some of them are in the FX space, and some of them do work with MetaTrader, and we are connected to the MetaTrader in those cases. It's not in the current scope that we're discussing, but you can dive in Capitalise.ai and read all about it, and I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
Okay, so Andrew here is asking, does Capitalise have access to trades and strategies that people create? Like if a strategy had a huge win rate, is that viewable by you? So Andrew, to answer your question, as I said, you can go to our examples section, and you can sort out trades according to their strategies.
I think that the question was different, Tom. Sorry if I interrupt. But what he really asked is, do we know what our users are doing, and do we have that view and knowledge, and do we exploit it? So the answer is, for the purpose of providing support, we can take a look at what you're doing if you ask us to, and to help you. But on the day-to-day operations, no, we don't. We don't see what our traders are doing, and your information and your strategies are your own. And that is very, very important for us. The trust is the most important thing in our business, and we will never take your ideas and exploit them and do anything with them. So that's for that. One more thing I want to mention is that we are actually this day or this week we have launched our new mobile app, and so you can download it on Apple Store or Google Play. And what most important with the app is it's the fact that you can get notifications in real time directly to your phone. So once your strategies trigger, you do get those trades. You get the notification in real time to your mobile phone, and that keeps you very much in loop with everything that's going on your account. So I invite you to go ahead and download the app, and get notified when your trades are being triggered while you sit and sip tequila at the beach sometime near in the future when this crazy situation will be over.
Dan asking what is the development timeline for adding options?
So I don't have a date to share it just yet. When I share a date, it's when I know the specific time, and I don't want to promise anything right now. But I can tell you that we have a lot of requests from many traders to add futures and options. So this is something that we basically it's on the top of our list. But at the moment, I can't really share a date. We do have other very interesting features that we're going to launch soon, such as the ability to backtest your trading ideas. And we will let you know, obviously, when everything new, any new feature is being released, we will send you an email if you wish so. Yeah.
Okay. Venkat asks, I see this as a subscription service, and it says that the fee is waived. When does Interactive Brokers charge fees for this service?
I can share that at the moment it's free. When the time comes and we will start charging subscription for the service, I can say that it's not going to be costly. However, at the time, it's free. It's free to use in the near future, in the coming month, and we don't have a specific date. So, go ahead and enjoy it as much as you want. Yeah.
So that answers Jason's first question as well. Charles asks, is it possible to backtest the strategy with historical data?
Yes. So I've mentioned that we are working on interesting features as well. One of the main ones that we are working on at the moment is backtesting. So the answer is yes, not now, but very soon you will be able to write whatever it is that comes to your mind, click the backtest, and you will get a result of how this specific scenario would have traded historically. And you will be able to go back, tweak it, and move forward, and then gain confidence on your ideas before you actually go ahead and apply them on your real account with your real money. So this is in the works, and stay tuned. It's going to be released in the coming months.
Okay, last question that I see here, other than the thank you note from Jason, you're very, very welcome. Last question that I see here is from Gaurav. If my strategy is slightly complex that cannot be coded with your existing UI, do you work with traders to help create the execution algo for them? So before Shahar goes on to answer your question, I'd like to have a shot at it my own. As we mentioned, you can use the chat here, and you can approach us with your request to really enable your complex strategy, as complex as it may be. This system is very robust. Some of the requests are simple, some of them are more complex, but we do try to manage even the more complex strategies, and be it conditioned with 1, 2, or 3 conditions. We try to take everything into account. So feel free to use the chat, and we'll see how we can help you.
Well said. And if we can't help you now, then we will have your request, and we will make sure that in the near future it will be available and you will be able to use it. Because we build this product for traders. It's by traders, it's for traders, and we want to make sure that whatever it is you want to do, as crazy as it might be, we want to be able to support it. So if not now, then tomorrow, give us a shout out.
Okay, I see just one more question here before we're going to wrap it up. Dan asks, what is IB's commitment to supporting Capitalise integration for the longer term? Well, that's something for IB to answer, unless Shachar knows something that I don't.
I can share that the relationship between IB and Capitalise is a strong one. It's a relationship that's been going on for several years, because IB really saw the potential in this technology and to provide a real solution for traders that are not coders. So we've been working with IB closely for a long period of time. They have been a design partner for us. So they are committed. We're committed. We're not going anywhere. If that's what you're asking.
Questions are coming in. Is there, Juan? Hi, Juan. Is there a list of the available indexes, indicators on Interactive Brokers? Since we said not all of them are available now. Well, I can tell you, Juan, that most of them are, but those that are not, again, you can use the chat and we'll add them. Just tell us what is it that you're missing, and we're committed to adding more and more assets for you to trade with. All right. You're very welcome, Juan. Okay, so I think that's it. A lot of questions, and we're happy to help. Gaurav just thanked us again. Really, we're very happy that you find it helpful, and we're looking forward for you guys to try automated trading and try to do it through Capitalise as well.
And I can mention that we will have more webinars as we go along that shows more advanced techniques and more goes into higher details of the things that you can achieve using the platform. So do stay tuned. And thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you, guys, and thank you, Cynthia.
Well, Shahar and Tom, thank you so much for today's presentation. Now, I do want to let you know some additional information on utilizing Capitalise in your interactive broker trading account is available on the IBKR website. You'll find a pricing menu where you can find research and news. Simply click through there and you'll find Capitalise is listed up at the top of that list. We have waived the fee for a brief period now, so if you'd like to get in and try Capitalise, you can simply access that information from the Interactive Broker website. Once you drill down, you'll find some additional links to visit the Capitalise website, and actually even to give it a try are available on IB's website. So with that, we are going to conclude our event here today. Much thanks to Capitalise for today's presentation, and you can all exit the session using the X in the upper right-hand corner. As a reminder, we have been recording today's session, and each of you will get a direct link to today's recorded playback just as soon as I'm able to compile and upload it to our servers. So do be watching your inbox later today for a direct link to our recording and to the same notes that Tom has been using for today's presentation. So with that, I want to thank all of you as well for joining us here this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And thank you.